Here's where it all comes together. Belief builds conviction. Conviction creates certainty. And certainty is what moves people to act. When you speak with convictions, clients don't just process your words intellectually. They feel your belief emotionally. And when they feel it, they move. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. I'm here solo today. You're going to be seeing probably one of these a month going forward. We're going to try this new format where we get to sit and talk with you and maybe teach a little bit, kind of have a conversation, share our thoughts, and we hope you like it. So we'd love to hear some feedback from it, maybe at the end of this one or some of the upcoming episodes. I want to start with today's episode with a question. Have you ever hung up from or walked out of an appointment knowing that the client should have said yes, but they didn't? You explained the benefits. You even told a story about how life insurance has helped someone else, carefully laid out the numbers. You didn't give quotes because we don't do that here. But at the end of the conversation, once you presented their options, the client sat back, shifted, or even folded their arms and said those dreaded words that I need to think about it. You left that appointment frustrated. What went wrong? Did you miss something? Did you say something wrong? Why didn't they want to proceed? Why didn't they see the value? Was the product not right? Here's what I want to suggest to you. It wasn't the product, and it wasn't even the client. The missing piece was belief. You see, people don't make decisions based only on information. They make decisions based on a very powerful sentiment, and that sentiment is certainty. That's a big word that I want you to think about today. Certainty. Are you creating certainty for your clients? And certainty doesn't come from a brochure, from the best rates, or even a great closing line. It comes from you. It comes from you. Certainty. Certainty. How do we create certainty? If you walk into a meeting uncertain, your client will walk out uncertain. But if you come to a meeting with deep conviction, if you believe it down to your core that this is the right decision for them, that this is the right plan for them, that conviction will transfer. And when belief transfers, decisions get made, families get protected, and legacies get secured. So I want to set the stage for you. I want to share a thought from Myron Golden. I don't know if you've heard of him before. Myron is a business coach, a speaker, a Bible teacher, in fact, and he blends spiritual principles and business success. He's written books like From the Trash Man to the Cash Man and Boss Moves, and he's helped entrepreneurs and sales professionals around the world become successful and build profitable business while staying rooted in biblical truth. And here's what he said about belief. You cannot transfer what you do not possess. If you don't have belief, you can't give belief. Belief is a kingdom principle that produces fruit. Now, that one sentence could change your business if you internalize it. If you don't believe in the product, if you don't believe in the company, and most importantly, if you don't believe in yourself, you cannot transfer that certainty to your client. So today, we're going to unpack how to build unshakable belief and transfer it to your clients. Sound like a good episode? I did. So I thought so. If you ever struggle with clients stalling, this episode is going to give you the clarity and the confidence to help people make decisions right there in the moment. So let's start with this. First, belief is contagious. Let me tell you about one of my early sales calls when I was just getting started. I was new. I wasn't even in the insurance business yet. And I wanted to impress. So I had every scenario accounted for, every stat, every piece of industry jargon I could think of. I showed them how much I knew about everything, how I prepared I was. And at the end, the prospect, the client, smiled politely and they said those dreaded words, "We want to think about it and we'll let you know." And I walked out with nothing. So that frustrated me. The very next week, I went on another sales call after doing some introspection. And this time, I didn't rely on the data alone. I came with more conviction. I knew in my heart that this was the right solution for them and it was going to work. I wasn't arrogant. I wasn't pushy, but I was absolutely certain. And that certainty shaped everything. It impacted my tone, my body language, the way I answered the questions. The clients leaned forward, nodded along, and guess what? They signed the application. And something clicked for me. Something clicked, and it was about creating certainty. And it's no different, ladies and gentlemen, in life insurance sales. In fact, I think it's even more critical because of the emotional nature of our sales. Protecting people that your prospects love is an emotional sale, not simply a logical one. And without this understanding, your communications are going to become transactional. So what changed? Not the product. The script didn't change. It was me that changed. Belief is contagious. And when you believe, your client can borrow that belief until they have their own. Alex Hormozy says this: people don't buy the best product. They buy the product that they're most certain about. Think about that for a moment. It's not about features. It's not about carriers. Certainly not about the riders. While they are important, it's about what the riders protects and the belief in it. It's really about certainty. And your certainty will always become their certainty. So here's a question for you to reflect on. Where in your sales conversations are you projecting hesitation? Where are you giving doubt? Where are you showing up with uncertainty? Think about that. Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions Premier Pre-License Training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career. Secondly, let's talk about the 3 levels of belief. Let's break this down practically. There are 3 levels that you as an agent must own. Do you actually believe life insurance works? Would you buy it yourself? Would you put your spouse or your clients or kids on this policy that you're recommending to other people? If your answer is no, that doubt will leak into the conversation. Belief in the company. Do you trust the carrier to deliver on its promises? If not, your client will sense that. Every hero in a story needs a vehicle to get to their destination. This is from Donald Miller, Building a Story Brand. Success Made, what's the Business Made Simple. Yeah, and that's how Donald Miller describes it. The company you represent is that vehicle. The hero needs a vehicle. You're the guide, and the product is the vehicle. And if you don't trust it, your clients won't get it. And you need belief in yourself. Lastly, so this one's big. Do you believe that you are the right person to guide the client? This is the Donald Miller principle. Are you the guide? Listen, you didn't land in that living room or on that Zoom call by accident. You're there on assignment. You've been given an opportunity to change a family's future, literally. And if you don't see yourself as capable, they won't either. So think about these 3 areas of belief for you, reflection for you that I want you to think about here. Which one of these 3 levels of belief are you weakest in right now? All right. Lastly, I want to say that belief creates certainty, and certainty wins sales. So here's where it all comes together. Belief builds conviction. Conviction creates certainty, and certainty is what moves people to act. When you speak with convictions, clients don't just process your words intellectually. They feel your belief emotionally. And when they feel it, they move. In the Bible, in Hebrews 11:1, it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen." What are you projecting, the not seen? Your clients can't see into the future. They can't imagine the day when their spouse will be left alone, or their kids will need the security that you want them to have, or when a sudden tragedy will strike. But your belief and the evidence that they can lean is the evidence that they can lean on. They borrow your faith to make a decision that they wouldn't make on their own. You have to give them the belief in the future and how they can secure it. So here's a question for you. How would your sales conversations change if you showed up not just with knowledge, but with unshakable certainty? So here's your action step for this week. Write one belief statement about the products that you have. So if you're in a niche business that should be 2 or 3 or 4 products at most, what's one belief statement that you can write about those products and what they can do for them? I want you to write one belief statement about the companies that you represent and what they mean and their history, their longevity of taking care of clients. And then lastly, I want you to write one belief statement about you. What do you believe about you and how it can impact them? Now, I want you to say them out loud before every appointment. Train your mind to anchor in belief before you ever knock on a door, or before you ever start that Zoom call, or before you ever engage the client on the phone. Now, here's the bottom line. It's not optional. Belief is not optional in sales. It's the foundation. It's the base. And when you believe deeply, it shows up everywhere in your confidence, in your posture, in your tone, and even in how you respond to objections. Can you hear my belief right now, even in the way I'm communicating with you? But I want you to remember something bigger. This isn't just about closing deals. Every time you sit with a client, you're not just selling a policy. You're sitting across from a family. You're looking into their eyes of a spouse who needs peace of mind. You're talking to a parent who needs to know their children are going to be secure. You're talking to a senior who needs to know their family's going to be taken care of when they're no longer there, and that you're making a difference. This is not just about you making money. So this week, I don't want you to go out and sell insurance. I want you to go out and transfer belief. I want you to walk into every home and get on every call with conviction and do it so that it matters, because it does. And when you do, you'll see something powerful happen. Clients won't just hear your words. They're going to feel your certainty. And when they feel it, they'll act and they'll move with you. They'll protect families. They'll leave a legacy, and you'll walk away knowing you've fulfilled your calling. It's a big deal. Certainty. It creates confidence. And this is what helps people move forward. Remember, you're the guide. Your certainty in moving forward helps them move forward. Without your certainty, when you get in those moments where you're hesitant and you project hesitancy in the way you present pricing, in the way you have this permission-seeking tone in even moving forward, take that, become more authoritative, become more directive, become like that nurse that's getting the patients ready before the doctor comes in. They come in with a smile on their face. They come in with intention in their actions. They come in with an agenda, and everybody knows that the nurse is in charge, and they will follow the lead. They will follow the lead. So as the guide, as the person who's sitting there talking to them about one of the most important decisions they can ever make, please show up with certainty. Certainty. Certainty in what your business does and what this industry does for them and what the product of life insurance can do to protect their family. Certainty in the company and the carrier and the specific product that you're recommending to them. And certainty in you, that you are the most capable at this moment to step up and help them put protection in place for their family. And if you get those three things right, and you show up with confidence, you show up with certainty, they're going to see your conviction. They're going to feel your conviction. They're going to know that you believe that this is the right product, that they are doing the right thing, and you are the right person. I hope this episode gives you something to think about, because I think too many agents are focused on a script. They're focused on the words on the paper, and they forget that they're in a real-life human interaction with somebody that needs you. You're in one of the most unique and special industries on the planet. You're in the business of protecting lives. That's literally what you're doing. Please remember that. It's not just about having the most AP on the leaderboard. if you show up with certainty and conviction and you help a lot of families, you will show up on the leaderboard, but you cannot lead with that as the motivation, because then it becomes about you. And your conviction then moves towards closing a deal rather than protecting a family. I hope you hear it in my voice today, and I hope that this format gives us something to think about and to process. I want you to go and write some answers to those things. What do you believe about the industry? What do you believe about the carriers and the products that you're showing up with? And what do you believe about yourself? Will you go back? Will you write some answers to that and then repeat those before you start every meeting this week? I'd love to know if you're implementing it. I'd love to know your thoughts about this format for our podcast. And I'd love to know if you implemented it and you had some results. So watch this video, put a reminder to come back and watch it again after you've put it into practice, and let us know what the results were. Hope this one helped today. Thanks for watching this episode of the Life Insurance Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or you're watching on YouTube. Please subscribe and share with someone else that can benefit from this. We'll see you on the next episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast.